day, everyone. My name is Denzil Celestine Dcosta from the Department of Hospitality Science, Milagros College, Mangalore. Today, we are going to discuss on the topic cakes. What do you mean by cake? Cake is sort of a what you can tell as bread which is sweetened. Okay, so we just go through the history of cakes. The story of cake begins thousands of years ago. The word cake is derived from the Old Norse word kaka, reflecting the evolution of this dessert from early bread like preparations to the sweet, fluffy treat we enjoy today. In ancient times, cakes were more like dense bread, sweetened with honey and flavored with nuts or dried fruits. It wasn't until the 18th century, with the development of more refined baking techniques and ingredients such as baking powder, that cake began to resemble their modern version. So previously, the cakes were basically made with breads which were sweetened with the third-party ingredients, maybe honey or any traditional sweetening agents, maybe some sap, tree sap, syrups were mixed into it, and extra flavor was given by adding nuts and dry fruits, and also sometimes fresh fruits. Okay, now let's see the essential elements of cake. Cakes are made from a delicate balance of flour, sugar, egg, fat, and a leavening agent. Flour provides structure, sugar adds sweetness and tenderness, eggs contribute richness and stability, fat adds moisture, and leavening agents help the cakes to rise. The magic of cake making lies in how these ingredients interact when mixed and baked. A deep understanding of each component's role is the first step towards making cake. Now, all the ingredients should work in harmony while making cake, because if a little imbalance takes place while mixing the ingredients or maybe measuring the ingredients, many faults can happen which can result in a bad what you can tell a risen cake, or maybe oversweetened or undersweetened cake, and other faults can occur. Now let's see the different methods or different ways how a cake can be made. The cake making can be divided into two major aspects. One is high fat or shortened cakes, another one is low fat or foam type cakes. Now high fat, this means where a lot of fat, maybe margarine, butter, oil, or any other fat is used. So first one is creaming method, second one is two-stage or blending method. Now in low fat, there is no or very less fat used in this method. In this, there are three types. There is foaming or sponge method, angel food cake method, or and chiffon method. So now let's go through the different methods of cake preparation. First one is the creaming method. Now we'll understand what is creaming method. Have all the ingredients at room temperature. All the ingredients of this cake preparation should always be at room temperature. Start with butter or shortening. Any shortening can be used, maybe margarine, vanaspati if for local or very cheap products. There is oil that is used, hydrogenated fat is used. Use the paddle attached on a low speed until the smooth and creamy. So when you whisk it, when we talk about paddle, it's of a planetary mixer, but when you whisk it, it should become smooth and airy and fluffy. Add the sugar. Cream the mixture at a medium speed until the mixture is light and fluffy. If melted chocolate is used, it is added at this time. Okay, if it is a chocolate cake, this time the chocolate is also added because it contains a bit of fat and sugar together. So when you add sugar, the creaming it helps in aeration and incorporating more air. After each addition, beat until eggs are absorbed before adding more. So add egg a little at a time. So eggs basically should be added one at a time so that it doesn't curdle the mixture, but it aerates and helps the body of the cake to hold. Scrape down the sides of the bowl evenly. Okay, now after the blending method, you will need to scrape the bowls, add the remaining dry ingredients. Now the other dry ingredients and the liquid should be added at the end, which are not essential. Add 1/4 of the dry ingredients, mix until just blended. Add 1/3 of the liquid, mix until just blended. Repeat until the ingredients are all used. Scrape down the sides of the bowl occasionally for even mixing, and then bake it. This is the creaming method, where the fat and the sugar is creamed separately at the starting, and then all the other ingredients are added. Next, we go to a two-stage method. Now, again, ingredients should be at the room temperature. Now, first, the dry ingredients such as flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, they should be sifted separately. Okay, mix at low speed, and then the fat should be added to it. Okay, sift the remaining dry ingredients into a bowl and add a part of liquid. Blend at low speed for 3 to 5 minutes. Scrape the sides. Combine the remaining liquids and lightly beaten egg. Now here you're going to mix the what you can tell as solids and the fats separately, and then the liquids, then they both are mixed together. That is the two-stage method. Next is what you can call it as a sponge method or a foaming method. Now, first again, the ingredients should be kept at low room temperature. Combine the eggs and sugar together. It should be a little warmer so that they should not what you can tell as curdle. With the whip attached, beat the eggs. Now, this should be beaten to a texture where it holds on a lot of air. Okay, that is called as foaming. You're using the foam from the egg, okay, to give the what you can tell as body to the cake. Fold the dry ingredients, being carefully not to deflate the foam. The foam which is generated with the sugar and the egg should not be deflated, and then the dry ingredients should slowly be mixed in an 8 motion. Okay, if melted butter or a butter liquid mixture is being used, fold in it at the last point. Okay, immediately pan and bake. This cannot be kept for a long time, as this will go flat after mixing. Next one is angel food cake method. Again, every method requires the ingredients to be at room temperature. Sifting should be done. Now, use the whip attachment to beat the egg whites until they foam to a soft peaks. Now remember, here egg whites are beaten separately so that they form a peak, and slowly sugar is added in. Okay, the remaining sugar. Now, the sugar which is mixed with flour is kept separately. Now, once this mixture is baked, the other ingredients will be folded in thoroughly. Okay, that is again the flour and the sugar mixture, and then immediately panned and baked. Okay, next we go to the another method, that is chiffon method. Okay, as we spoke with the other what you can tell as ingredients or other preparations, the cake should be at room temperature. Now sift all the dry ingredients. Okay, then using a paddle, gradually add the oil, then the egg yolk. Here, first the dry ingredients are added, then the eggs and the other liquids are going on added. In a separate bowl, whip the egg whites until they form soft peak. Fold the whipped egg. Now remember, egg whites are kept separately, egg yolks are mixed separately with the dry ingredients. Now once the folding starts, you should fold, immediately bake this. So this is also a chiffon method, where the aeration of the egg white is used for this. Okay, so these are the different methods of making cake. Now let's go for how to prepare a pan for the preparation of cake. So let's take care of these points which we will go through now. Always prepare pan before mixing cake batter. For high fat cakes, the bottom and the sides of the layer pans must be greased and floured. For sheet cake, line the pan with greased parchment, that is none other than what you can tell as butter paper, or butter sheets should be added to the lining of the pan. For angel food cake, do not grease the pan. For the recipe of the angel food cake, you should not allow add any fat to the pan, so that it can cause some negative actions. For sponge cake layers, grease the bottom, but do not the sides of the pan, so that there is a proper fluff that can happen on the cake. Now, very important points of baking. Please, let's go through this. Cake structure is fragile, so proper baking conditions are essential for high quality products. Okay, preheat the oven should be always preheated to the temperature that is required for the certain type of cake whatever is being prepared. Make sure ovens and shelves are level. Do not let pans touch each other in oven. Bake at a correct temperature. Do not open the oven or disturb the cake until they have finished rising and are partially brown. if stem, if steam in the oven is available, use it for creamed or two-stage batter. Test the doneness. Okay, now remember how to test the doneness. Always use a toothpick or a clean knife. When you pierce it inside, if the cake particles do not stick to the cake and the knife comes out or a toothpick comes out clearly, this means the cake is cooked. Okay, that is the baking concepts of the pan. Now, cooling and removing from the pan is also very important. Cool layered cakes 15 minutes in the pan and turn out while slightly warm. They should be warm while turning out, otherwise, they will stick to the pan. To turn out the sheet cakes, sprinkle top lightly with granulated sugar. Set an empty sheet pan on top bottom side down. Invert both pans, remove the top pan, peel parchment of the cake. So always use two pans so that the cake can be inverted to the another pan and then the parchment can be removed. Cool angel food cakes upside down in pan. When cool, loosen the cake from the sides of the pan with a knife and spatula and pull the cakes carefully out. So this is how you remove the cake. So now the cakes are ready. Now in conclusion, cakes embody joy and creativity. Understanding ingredients, techniques, and cultural influence equips you to bake confidently. Practice is the key. Embrace mistakes, learn and add personal touches. Cakes celebrate life's moments, bringing people together. So this is all about the cake preparation and how cakes are made. So cakes always needs that personal touch to make a good cake. Yes, everyone will falter because it's basically a science. So to prevent this mistakes to happen, whatever mistakes happen, take it positively and note it down and correct it when you do it next time. And only when you practice, you will be perfect and your recipe will be perfect. So thank you for listening. I hope you have understood the chapter that is cakes. Thank you once again.